God made you for marriage and you have a 100% chance of success in marriage? You don't have a 50% chance. When you do marriage God's way, you have a 100% chance. And here's the formula: realistic expectations plus biblical relationship skills equal guaranteed success. A lot of people come into marriage with wrong expectations and they're set up for failure. Verse 25 of Luke 14, great multitudes went with him, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Let's stop right there. Now, Jesus would never tell us to hate people. The only person we can legally hate is the devil. Jesus would never say to you, I want you to hate your mother and father. He's saying, if you're going to be a close follower, a disciple, I can't compete with the other relationships in your life. You've got to decide that I am more important to you than your mother and father, your wife and your children, every other relationship in your life. He says this in verse 27, whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Let's stop right there. Jesus had not died on the cross when he was saying this. The Romans crucified people at the entry of a city publicly to put the fear of God into everybody. The cross was a suffering instrument. It just means suffering. And what Jesus is saying is, if you're going to be my disciple, get it in your heads now that there's going to be some suffering. And if you're not willing to suffer, you can't be my disciple. This is verse 28. Which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it left after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish it? All who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So likewise, whoever of you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple. See, here's the difference between the devil and Jesus. The devil over-promises and under-delivers. Jesus is the opposite. He under-promises and over-delivers. He promises something and he delivers. But what he's trying to do here is to prepare these people for reality. The reality is following Jesus isn't a bed of roses. Some bad things can happen. A lot of people, we don't realize when we get married that this is a covenant relationship. And here's what covenant means. The word covenant means to cut. Remember when God made Eve? He could have made Eve out of the dust of the ground the same way that he did Adam. But he didn't. He cut Adam. It wouldn't have been a covenant if he'd have made her out of the dirt. So he cut Adam. The word covenant means, so you don't make a covenant, you cut a covenant. The word covenant means a sacrificial, permanent relationship. There's going to be sacrifice in this relationship. Here are covenant vows, for better, for worse. In sickness and in health, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor. There's going to be some poor. There's going to be some times that we're struggling. And here's what we're saying when we say covenant vows. I'm all in. I've counted the cost. I've considered the fact that this is not going to be a bed of roses, and I'm all in. Don't fight each other. Fight the devil. Ephesians 6 says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities, powers, spiritual forces in high places. God puts you together for a reason. And for your marriage to be what it needs to be, you have to get your mind on right. It's not going to be easy all the time. There are going to be some difficulties that come. This is why Jesus began by telling his disciples, you've got to count the cost. You've got to count the cost. I'm saying marriage will cost you everything, but it's worth it. It's worth it.